CCIEORDIE.COM, I'm Artek, and this is CCIE Lab Builder Part 2. You'll notice that we've expanded our topology of switches and created an extra link for each of them, and we've created a redundant full mesh. It's very exciting. I like it. You'll notice if we highlight our devices, notice these gray boxes that bound our devices. It seems that the switches and their connections appear to create the connections a little more easily if you use those boundaries. It likes to connect. See here on this too, it's connecting directly to the switch, but here it's connecting onto the whatever you want to call it, ghost box. Anyway, enough of that. It seems like that will make it easier as you create your topology to just follow that as a rule of thumb. Anyway, let's click on Run on IOL and have a look at our topology in action. And here it comes. Takes a second. There it is, and it doesn't look that bad. I'm not real fond of the white space, but I'm getting over it. Let's move on. You'll notice I've included a separate module of ports in order to expand out, and the port numbering you'll just have to get used to. E00 to 1 is going to be this port channel eventually, and E12 to 3 this port channel eventually, etc. You'll get used to it. They're not contiguous like a normal switch where it's F01, F02, and so on, but it really is workable. One of the things I do want to point out, if we double click here into our telnet session, let me get that started. EN show interface E0/0. We'll note that our bandwidth is 10 meg, and that's a limitation with the topology, with the CCIE lab builder, and you're just going to have to put up with it. I've tried a number of different things. I've looked into it, and I found that it's 10 meg, and you're set with 10 meg. When you show spanning tree, you're going to get some different kind of results. You can make some adjustments. We'll get to those types of things later. But look at the positive side, and that is you've got switches on your desktop and fully functional. Notice that also that it's set for auto, duplex, and speed. You can try playing with the duplex at full, hard setting them across. I don't necessarily recommend it. That might be a lot of work. And the speed you can't change, I've found. So enough on that. That's just something we'll have to remember. So show interface trunk. We'll notice our friend ISL is negotiating as desirable between our ports. So we do have to contend with ISL. It is there by default. So config T interface range. The interface range command works very good. Before we do that, let's look at our topology and make sure our ports are correct. E12 to 3, we're going to make an ether channel between core 1 and core 2. So E12 to 3. Interface range E1/2 to 3. Switch port trunk NCAP .1Q, which is necessary to put it into .1Q mode. We have to do that because ISL is on by default. To get rid of ISL, naturally you could use ISL. I don't necessarily recommend it. Another thing too, if we notice up above, is that we're negotiating the trunk using DTP. I'm not really fond of most negotiation protocols, and so what I like to do is to just set the trunk as on. Switch port mode trunk. And if we look up above, we will see, here it is, do show interface trunk we'll see that they are set to on and 802.1q, and that's very good. That's the way I like it. And we'll also channel group, we'll bundle them into port channel 2 mode on. And notice they bundled into port channel 2, and we'll end here. And we'll go to 192.168.1.2 and set up core 2 as an ether channel. It's going to take a couple of seconds. It's still converging. We'll just have to be patient. And okay, whenever you're ready. Well, another thing we could try is by clicking on the telnet session instead of waiting. We can certainly do that. EN CCIE show CDP neighbor, and we're connected to core 1 with E2 and E1.3 config T interface range E1/223 switch port trunk ncap.1q. We have to get rid of ISL. We don't have to, but I would prefer to get rid of ISL. It's not really represented much anymore in CCNP switch, and rightly so. Switch port mode trunk, and we'll channel group 2 mode on. And notice they bundled. Do show interface PO2 creates the port channel on the fly. Great. Control C. Do show interface PO2 switch. And here it's going to show us the operational mode. It's in trunk, and that's excellent. It's using .1q. Very good. Control C. Do show ether channel sum. And we'll notice they're both up, layer 2, SU, layer 2, and up. And P means that they're bundled. And that's great. Do show CDP neighbor. And then we'll do LACP between core 2 and dis2, which is the up and down links. And they're on 0, 0 and 0, 1. Interface range E 0/0 to 1. Switch port trunk ncap.1q. Switch port mode trunk, and channel group 1 mode active, because we want to use LACP, and port channel 1 is now active. And we'll go back to our topology and bring up this 2, and that should be it. Very good. EN. Of course, we set all those parameters in the first build, and I just brought that other file into CCIE Lab Builder and expanded on that with, again, with the extra links. Config T interface. Let's do show CDP neighbor. Make sure we got our ports correct. And to core 2, it's E00 to E01. Interface range E0/0 to E0/1 or 1. Switch port trunk ncap.1q. Switch port mode trunk, and channel group 1 mode active. We could make it passive, and active and passive will work. Passive and passive won't work, but you should know that. And there's port channel 1. Do show ether channel sum. And they're layer 2 and up, and they're bundled. Ether 0/0 and 0/1. You see the P, they're bundled. So that's great. We've got two ether channels between a couple of our switches, and that works out just fine. So for practice, try to use PAG-P. And that will be something that you can try on your own. So that's what I have for tonight. Thanks very much for watching, and hope to see you again here on CCIE or Die.com.